now the news. Fire destroyed a large section of the Montego Bay Shoe Market in St. James this morning. The Jamaica Fire Brigade reports that it received a call about the blaze around 2:30 a.m. Superintendent Roland Walters, who is assigned to the Trelawney Division, told reporters that firefighters from his division were called in to aid in putting out the blaze. He said when they arrived on the scene, 60% of the area was in flames.
Based on the knowledge that we have of this place, upon receiving this fire call, we had a predetermined response, meaning that the St. James Division engaged the Trelawney Division for some support. Hence, I am here with the team. When we arrived here, free burning was taking place, meaning that around 60% of the property was on fire. We immediately got into operations using 3 pumper and a water tender until Trelawney arrived. We sectorized the whole zone, and the firefighting activities continued for around an hour before the fire was brought under control.
According to Superintendent Walters, initial reports revealed that around 100 structures were in the market. He said investigations are being done to find the cause of the blaze.
We continue our firefighting until it was fully extinguished. We are currently doing salvaging. Of note, this area, the fire load in this area is very heavy. Our initial investigation is saying that we have approximately 100 shops here. It is board, all the buildings are board, and the material is highly flammable. Hence the extent of this damage. Our investigation continues as to determine the origin and the cause of this fire.
And the superintendent rubbished claims that the brigade experienced difficulties due to a lack of water.
We know the fire ground. So an incident like this, there's a initial call out of all fire apparatus in the area. So St. James alone, we have Iron Shore, Barnett Street, and we call in assistance from Falmouth, because we know what could have taken place here this morning, right? As in regards to the water supply, yes, the water pressure is low in the area. However, we had no problems because we had assistance from the municipal corporation.
Member of Parliament Philip Paulwell says he's heartbroken by the recent abduction and murder of his 10-month-old daughter, Soraya, and her mother, 27-year-old Tashina Patterson. The baby and mother were reported missing on September 9. In a tragic revelation on Friday, it was confirmed by the police that Soraya and Tashina were abducted and murdered. Leoda Bradshaw and 3 men were charged in relation to the incident. In a statement on his Facebook page, Mr. Paulwell said the past few weeks have been extremely difficult for him as he grappled with the abduction of his daughter and her mother. He said he prayed unceasingly for the safe return of Miss Patterson and his daughter Soraya, noting that he is heartbroken by the worst has happened. Mr. Paulwell said nothing could have prepared him for the events that unfolded since last week Thursday and the alleged discoveries. He said murdering a mother and an innocent baby is unimaginable and his heart is heavy with sadness. He said he is praying for Tashina's family, who he said is experiencing the unbearable grief and pain of losing their beloved daughter and granddaughter. Mr. Paulwell said, as a human being, father, lawyer, and legislator, he is hoping that all who were involved are brought to justice and punished to the fullest extent of the law. He said he has been in constant dialogue with the police and cooperated fully with the investigation. while stating that he cannot comment on the investigations nor matters before the court. He thanked the police for their tireless work. He also thanked the many Jamaicans who have been generous in their prayers and support. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Arnett Gardens, Hopeful Village, and sections of Torrington Park in the Kingston West Police Division. The curfew began at 8 this morning and will remain in effect until 8 p.m. on Tuesday. During the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless authorized by the ground commander. 2 men were shot and killed and 4 others wounded during an attack on a bar in Kingsvale, Hanover on Friday night. The deceased are 41-year-old Jeff Despora of Orange Cove and Orlando Mason of Kingsvale, both in Hanover. Preliminary reports from the police are that the 6 people were shot during the robbery of a bar at approximately 10 p.m. Despora and Mason were pronounced dead at hospital, while the 4 others were admitted for treatment. A child and adolescent guidance and wellness center, which is being constructed in St. James, will offer services that support entire families, not just children. Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang noted that the center will be a crucial preventative measure to assist individuals and families reduce acts of violence and ultimately criminality. He was speaking to reporters while on a site visit of the proposed location for construction of the center on Friday. Dr. Chang said, with a noted increase in behavioral issues among children, the center will allow teachers to refer the child to a special facility dedicated to dealing with such behaviors.
The purpose of this particular center, initially named Child Adolescent Guidance Center, and I said family services have to be stuck in there somewhere because what we want is that when Dr. Pinnock or Dr. Bridget now will go into our schools and the principal said, look, these kids have not come to school. This one is regularly been sent out of class. This one is going to be suspended. They not only they have a place to refer them with immediate. Not a matter to say, and we can take them there. And if necessary, and they get us, as indicated in time out, some level of continuity training, but there are some of the professionals who can sit with them, talk to them, and just having a professional to listen is very beginning. Maybe the single largest problem affecting poor people in this country, and I say it again, is that they have very few people to listen to them.
Dr. Chang said oftentimes it's challenges with life at home that influence the bad behavior.
That first step of just want to listen to that child without being abusive, without being seeking to spank or anything, is a big step. Then you find out that in fact the mother is unemployed, have 3 other kids at home. One of them is 2 and one is 18 months and one is 5-year-old, and those 5 and they stay at home. The 5 stay to feed the little one at 18, and the other one is 16 and have dropped out of school and is maybe on the street begging or joining a gang. So somebody has to bring that entire family picture. I cannot expect a teacher to do that, which is why we have case managers from the Ministry of National Security, we have social workers attached, and that person may need the police come to service to say, look, you have to follow me to West Kingston in Barry Street.
Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang. He said among the support services to be offered will be counseling, skills training, and a job placement. He stressed that no one is born bad. They instead fall prey to easy gratification. But if they are provided with a positive alternative, then change can be effected. The project is a joint partnership of the Ministries of National Security, Education, and Health, as well as the European Union and the Sandals Foundation. Education Minister Favour Williams has called on Jamaicans to view its heritage as a source of inspiration and not a relic of the past. She was delivering greetings at this morning's Thanksgiving service to mark Heritage Week. This year's theme is celebrating a proud heritage, resilient and strong. According to Mrs. Williams, the heritage of Jamaica will aid in navigating the challenges of the present.
We think of Paul Bogle, Marcus Garvey, Sam Sharp, George William Gordon, Norman Manley, Alexander Bustamante, and Nani. We remember all of you. I ponder on the words of Marcus Garvey, who said that a people without the knowledge of their history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. These words should inspire all of us. They remind us that our heritage is not merely a collection of events and traditions, but the foundation upon which we build our future.
Education Minister Favour Williams. The president-elect of the Jamaica Teachers Association has expressed concern about political interference in schools. Mark Smith noted that for too long, educators have been weighed down by distractions, especially the political type. He noted that politics influences what happens in schools and it creates chaos.
By distraction, I talk about the political interference. There's a Dutch Prime Minister. His name is Abraham Piper, and in the 19th century Dutch Prime Minister, he talks about the different spheres. He came with this concept of spheres of influence, spheres. And he talks about this military having a sphere, and he talks about religion having a sphere, and talking about education, economic spheres. And he says something happens when the spheres don't respect the boundaries. And so we've found in many of our schools that politics, the political sphere, is influenced what is happening in some of our schools. And it's creating chaos and distractions. We have to respect the spheres. We have to respect those areas.
Smith also expressed a concern about getting lip service from politicians instead of transformational action in the education sector.
Education, I believe, is one of those things that should unite us as a country, and there really needs to be a rethinking and engaging of the entire populace around the power of education to transform this country. Is that something we believe in? It must be. It must resonate with us each and every day, understanding that there is only one version of a successful Jamaica, and it's one which embraces the transformative force of education on this land. It means that it's not just about lip service, something we have been subjected to for too long. How many times have you sat and listened to ministers on both sides of the political aisle speak eloquently about what needs to be done? And check next year, we have the same conversation. And the year after, the same conversation. We need to transform each and every life, each and every soul that comes into our school, that comes before us through the support of the Ministry of Education.
JTA President-elect Mark Smith. He was speaking at the Principals Association Conference in Montego Bay, St. James. The National Commercial Bank, NCB, has indicated that it is seeing an increase in cyber attacks targeting its customers. As a result, the bank has suspended temporarily its SMS transaction alerts. In an advisory to customers, NCB indicated that it began updating the notification methods yesterday. The bank said the decision was prompted by a noticeable increase in cases of phishing and smishing. Phishing is a type of social engineering attack often used to steal user data, including login credentials and credit card numbers, while in a smishing attack, cyber criminals send deceptive text messages to lure victims into sharing financial information by clicking on malicious links or downloading harmful software or applications. To reduce the risk of customers falling victims to these attacks, NCB has urged customers to stay up to date with their transactions through email alerts, which will continue as usual.